On today's show, the Dallas Mavericks get a win against the Houston Rockets. Anthony Davis looks awesome in his debut. But then we got to talk about what happened after and before on today's Locked On Mavs.
I'm here because I have to be here.
Explain yourself. Sorry.
You are Locked On Mavs.
Great, Rusty.
Your daily Dallas Mavericks podcast.
No one's dying.
Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Dallas is going to get a season to take.
Let it ride. That's right.
Let it ride, everyone. I'm here. I'm here.
Welcome. You are locked on to the Dallas Mavericks. My name is Nick Angstadt, media member covering the Dallas Mavericks for 10 years. Thanks for being in every day or making Locked On Mavs your first listen. Today's episode is sponsored by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. And joining me, as always, my co-host, the post-game prodigy, the one more thinking, the protest prince. What you got for me, Isaac Harris?
Nick, what was better? The first quarter tonight or your night last night?
First quarter was incredible for the Dallas Mavericks.
Anthony Davis promised to bring life back to the city, and that first quarter was honestly something that I won't forget for a long time. That was special.
It was a special thing. We got to see the Mavs and how they're going to look in the future, and we got to see a glimpse of what that's going to look like. We'll also talk about Max Christie and how he looked, because, man, it's been 3 games of Max Christie and 3 games of awesome play that I don't think anybody really expected. I expected him to be good, but I don't know about this.
Yeah.
We'll also talk about the protests, what we saw. I spent a lot of time out there. Got to talk to a lot of you guys. I've met so many of you guys, of listeners, and got to hear their thoughts. And I ran into at least 3 or 4 people that liked the trade.
Oh.
So we'll get into that.
And they were at the protest.
They were at the protest.
So were they protesting Markieff Morris?
They were just hanging out. They just were there for the vibes.
Okay.
And let's start here, Isaac Harris. Anthony Davis starts his Dallas Mavericks career with just guns a-blazing. Just an absolutely insane first quarter with the 14 points, and first half with the 24 points and all the rebounds. He had a 20-20 game in the first 18 minutes of play. He had 21 points, 13 boards in his first 18 minutes with the Mavericks in this game. And you saw just how great the defense could be for this Mavericks team. Anthony Davis just changes so much. You have AD and Gafford out there, both at the 5. That's something you asked pretty much everybody about with the Mavs playing those 2 guys. But what do we see from the glimpse of what the Mavs are going to be when everything comes together?
Yeah, well, it's just the part that I'm fascinated the most about. This is why I'm asking the most questions about it, to AD, to Jason Kidd, to Max Christie. This is the biggest fundamental change for this team scheme-wise, is you take a ball-dominant guy like Luka and you swap him out for a guy like Anthony Davis. And Naji said, post-game, I asked Naji too, kind of about swapping those 2 guys out. And it feels weird you just like looking at me, but I guess you look at me on the pod too. And Naji was like, hey, it's basically the same. It's just, Luka's is more, is farther out, on the court. AD's is more of that mid-range and stuff. It's just, once they collapse, you got to be open to hit the shot. So He kind of talked about it offensively, but defensively, man, we got that glimpse of it. PJ, that front line of PJ, 6'10", 2 7-footers basically,
yeah, right.
And Gafford and AD.
Klay at 6'7".
Yeah, and just seeing, I asked Max, I was like, Max, what does it change on the perimeter for you specifically whenever you have that back line behind you? And then him and Naji both said, man, we could press, we can get up in guys, faces more, and, they can just have a little bit more, they can get a little bit closer to those guys knowing that, oh, okay, well, I got AD and Gafford behind me that could pick me up. So that part defensively was just special.
And the rebounding, the rebounding was massive. This is a Rockets team that
rebounds matter.
Their rebounds really.
I've been saying
we've been saying that our whole careers on this show. We've been saying that. The rebounds are massive for this team. AD with 16 rebounds. You had Gafford had 9, and PJ went out at the second half, but he had a couple as well. And you could just see how they're going to just gobble them up. Anthony Davis just puts a lid on the rim. The Rockets were 3 of 12 from at the rim at halftime. They had 9 offensive rebounds. 5 of them came in one play, and they still didn't score on that play. You just saw these
Gafford
moments.
blocked that shot.
Saw these moments over and over again.
What about Şengün trying to take AD multiple times, like spin into AD's chest.
Could not.
AD blocking him. He just couldn't. It wasn't until Houston, countered in the second half and brought Adams out there to start over, Tari Eason, that then it started to open up, Şengün a little bit more offensively.
Yeah.
But in that first half, you're like, all right, buddy here can't get anything on AD.
Well, the Rockets tried that. They switched, so they started with Adams and they started with Şengün both together, which I don't know how. I don't think they've played that very much this season. But PJ was out already, and so Max Christie started for him. And I think the Mavs started with Anthony Davis guarding Steven Adams, so he can kind of roam around, and then Gafford on Şengün. I think that was a mistake because all of a sudden Şengün, who looked like he couldn't do anything in the first half, what do you have, 6 points in the first half, just started going off in the second half, and then when AD wasn't in the game for the fourth quarter, Şengün finished with 25 points and was really instrumental for the fake comeback for the Rockets this time.
Adams just threw Gafford around like a rag doll. He's still, obviously he's gotten slower and stuff with the injuries and stuff, but he's still a monster of a human down low and one of the best rebounders in the game. But let's go back to AD's start and his offense. The dude you couldn't have written a better start to AD's beginning here in Dallas he hits the 2 threes. I think he was shooting under 30% on the season from 3 heading into this game. He shoots, he hits those first 2 threes. He has the block, he has the dunks, and then he has that iconic moment for him that I'm sure he won't forget. Mavs fans won't forget. It's one of the best moments that I've experienced in the AAC for a long time, of him just embracing the fans, going over there after a Houston timeout, after his dunk. I'm here. I can't describe, this arena was rocking.
Yeah.
It was awesome atmosphere tonight. From the starting lineups through that first quarter and that whole, it was just an awesome atmosphere.
For even when he walked out of the tunnel for warm-ups. Him and Kyrie came out a little bit later for warm-ups, and he came out of the tunnel, and there was a great reception for him. Just, an organic one that wasn't even started by, and welcome to the court, Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
It wasn't even precursed by anything like that from Sean Heath. And so it was great. For anybody that was worried about the Mavs fans not embracing Anthony Davis and Max Christie. Like you said, the starting lineup.
There wasn't even any chance during the game.
The amount. There was one guy I heard one time.
I'm sure there was one.
It was quiet. I heard one guy try to fire Nico or sell the team fire Nico, and I could hear it from all the way over here. I don't know where he was, and he tried it, and nobody joined him.
And you could I've seen some people like, oh, you couldn't hear the fans tonight. You could definitely hear the fans tonight.
Yeah.
They weren't being drowned out or anything.
No.
But they sucked all the life out of it to do that. The Mavs started so well and AD started so well. When would have been their chance during the national anthem to chant that? So it's like you're not going to chant that as AD's going off. And then once the game's already started and it's a good game, there was just never an opportunity for the crowd to do it. If they started off bad or if there's an injury early on, then there was probably a bit of chant then. But I think that's played into why we never seen it tonight.
And it was maybe free throw moments, right? And that was the one time that I heard that guy where it's like, okay, it's kind of quiet where the Mavs are taking a free throw or something like that. And they weren't going to put Nico Harrison's face on the Jumbotron or anything like that.
Somebody asked me, oh, did they put Nico up there? I'm like, no, they never have.
Yeah, right. Imagine they ever did that.
But they've never put Nico on the screen like that.
They also didn't show any fans on the Jumbotron the whole game, though, which was...
there's some fans that played some games and stuff, but no,
But once you realize
no karaoke cam.
Once you realize that, you're like, they aren't really showing anybody, fans, in the stands or anything, which the Mavs are being cautious, right? They had the barricade and the police presence out for the protests. We'll talk about that. But, they're being cautious about it. But overall, Mavs embraced this new version of the Mavericks team, and they embraced Anthony Davis really well. And I think that's kind of the story.
Oh, yeah, I think that's where my mind was at going into today, of you didn't know what to fully expect and what was going to be the storyline coming out of today. Yeah. Was it going to be no Luka today, or was it going to be Anthony Davis's debut in Dallas? And I think you walking out of this game saying Anthony Davis's debut in Dallas.
Yeah.
That was a monster moment, monster start. Yes, there was the injury, and we're recording this right after normal Mavs, media, post-game media that we were a part of, but there's a group of people waiting to talk to Anthony Davis at his locker right now. So we haven't seen anything as far as what AD has said so far, but we'll see where it is.
Anthony Davis did say it's a little spasm. It's nothing serious.
Oh.
So we're gonna We just got word. From the
Dear
from the
Heavenly
Twitterverse.
Father, thank you.
Shout out to
We
Marston.
wanna-
That's a prayer from a pastor. You know that's legit right there.
Thank you for these good moments. All right.
I feel like I need to get the guitar out. And
You just gotta
do the come to Jesus.
you gotta thank the Lord when blessings fall.
You have to. And another blessing that came to the Dallas Mavericks is Max Christie. He was absolutely awesome in this game. Another one for Christie. Let's talk about how great he was and how the Mavs got this win. Coming up.
Am I allowed to take a drink during this?
Yeah. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Robinhood Gold. With Robinhood Gold, you can enjoy the VIP treatment, receiving a 3% IRA match on retirement contributions. The privileges of the very privileged are no longer
Why are you laughing?
exclusive with Robinhood Gold. Your annual IRA contributions, if you're listening on audio, you have no idea. Isaac is just drinking right in my ear. Are boosted by 3%, plus you also get 4% APY on your cash on non-retirement accounts. That's over 8 times the national savings average. The perks of a high net worth are now available for any net worth. The new gold standard is here with Robinhood Gold to receive your 3% boost on annual IRA contributions. Sign up at Robinhood.com/gold. Investing involves risk. Rate subject to change. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold at $5 a month for 1 year for first match. Must keep funds in IRA for 5 years. Go to Robinhood.com/boost. Over 8 times the national savings average. Interest rate claim is based on data from the FDIC as of November 18th, 2024. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC. Gold membership is offered by Robinhood Gold LLC. Thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs, being part of the show, part of the Raccoon Squad, or what we call our listeners every single day. We appreciate you guys. Appreciate everybody that I met today and got to see at the protests and all that, and even inside, and got to talk to a lot of people, so we appreciate that. Thanks for coming up. If you are at a Mavs game, I'll be in section 123, where we are right now.
Are you allowed to promote that?
I'm allowed to promote that I am here.
Oh.
I wouldn't tell you that Joe Trahan is here because that would be a
Joe Trahan is right here.
Yeah, he's sitting right in front of me.
Don't make fun of my water anymore.
Shout out to
either.
WFA.
People make fun of my weight enough. I'm trying to drink water, be healthy. Come on.
It's water weight. That's all it is.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, Isaac. Let's talk about the Mavs in this game because Anthony Davis does go out, and he has a non-contact injury that looked like it was a groin or something like that. He ends up going out of the game in that third quarter, and the Mavs did not win that third quarter, and then it was a tough one where it seemed like the Rockets were making a comeback. They had played that double big lineup where it seemed like that was making inroads for them too. Şengün was starting to get going. You weren't getting contributions from Anthony Davis. Kyrie did not have a good game by his standards at all. He finished the first quarter, through the first 3 quarters, he had 5 points, and he was 1 of 9 from the field. And then the Mavs got some just really big play from – I'm going to start with Max Christie.
Yeah, real quick, you mentioned Kyrie, though. I mean, is Houston the second worst team for him to go against besides Boston? You're talking Amen Thompson.
But this is the thing about
Like-
Kyrie now, is he has now been thrust as the number 1 perimeter or guard scorer on this team. He's going to get the Amen Thompsons. He's going to get guys like that. He's going to get the number 1 defender on every single team now. So this is the new reality. You're not every single day going to be defended by Amen Thompson, who is a freak athlete, maybe one of the top 0.1% athletes in the entire world, right? Like
He's insane.
Who is specifically equipped to defend Kyrie, like the same way Jalen Williams did in the playoffs and when Kyrie struggled against him. So, yes, it's not going to be always that, but he is going to be defended by the number 1 guy.
Yeah, it's like him. Switch into Dylan Brooks. Switch into Tari Eason. So much, when you're going against a guy like Kyrie, the ideal scenario for you defensively, I don't care if you drink your water, you're being healthy. That's what you want. You want length and athleticism against a guy like Kyrie, and they have so many of those guys, just like Boston does. So it was a tough night for that, and you saw that in the second half because AD goes down, and it's like Kyrie's still getting guarded the way he did, which he hit some incredible shots in the second half. I was like, whoa, to keep the Mavs, afloat and stuff. But that's where the offense. This is what we've been talking about too. Is like, where's the other offense going to come from? Is it going to be Dinwiddie? It's going to be Klay. It's going to be, and tonight it was Max Christie, it was Naji Marshall,
bench, and
this is kind of like what they're going to have to do is after the 2 main guys, who's the guys after that? Is it going to be a mix and match every night? Who's going to be the 2 guys? Good luck guessing. Klay and Naji one night, PJ and another night. So tonight it was Max and Naji.
And you got the average from Anthony Davis. He averaged 26 points. He got 26 points. Kyrie.
If you didn't know he left the game, you're like, oh man, his debut.
What a great game. 26 points, 16 boards, 7 assists, 3 blocks. By the way, the only player in
how many minutes? 30 minutes?
By the way, the only player in Mavs history to ever have 26, 16, 7, and 3 Dirk Nowitzki, our guy.
No!
In 2002, he had what did he have? Oh, he had an incredible line where he had like 20 and 20 and just a nuts game.
It is kind of weird seeing another big this dominant tonight.
Well, the thing is,
like,
the Mavs haven't had this. They haven't had a player like this since
Dirk.
Tyson Chandler, like as a defender, and then as an offensive player since Dirk.
Yeah,
like,
no, that's the thing. It's like
that's what you're kind of combining with Anthony Davis, which is kind of wild. But Max Christie.
Yeah, Max Christie, man.
23 points. He hit 9 of 10 for the free throw line and some clutch free throws when the Rockets cut it to 4. They cut it to 2 a couple times. They really need him. Just some massive, massive plays. Kid even mentioned he had a really huge shot for him. It was just a great game for Max Christie, who, man, every time I hear him talk, it just sounds like you're talking to a parent or like a coach, or like a coach of a college team or something like that.
He's just the type of guy that like I feel like there's no way this I was gonna say that like every front office or coach just wants to be like, man, I want every player to be like you, like, you know, I want to invest in a guy like you because he's just so
They did invest in him.
so like all in. And I was even, you know, having some conversations pregame, you know, just talking to different people while you were outside covering the protest stuff. I was in here and trying to watch AD and stuff warm up and trying to talk to people courtside, get some more.
Isaac Harris, coward. He wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, what am I going to learn out there? People are mad.
Not a man of the people.
Let me go see the 200 people out there.
It was a good time.
Yeah, but in one of the conversations with talking to somebody about the trade, it was like, hey, listen, you know, it's similar to what we've been saying the whole time. Like, listen, Max is not, you know, this is about AD and Luka and all the stuff, but Max wasn't just like a throw-in guy.
No.
Like it was like Max Chris,
value.
they believe that Max can be a key part. And the name that I got thrown to me was he could be, and this wasn't anybody who works for the team, but it was like he could be the Danny Green. Like a Danny Green type of just a solid character guy. A guy that don't mention his podcast.
I was gonna say, are we gonna have to sit and listen to his podcast for a whole summer like we did that one year?
No, but it was just, you know, it was just a name to like. We always try to think about the comp or like who's this guy remind us of or something like that. And it was like thinking of a Danny Green, what he's meant to really good teams, character-wise, you know, defensively against some of the, you know, other, you know, guards on the perimeter and hitting the open shot and some offensively. You need the Danny Greens to win titles around your stars. And the fact that he's just 21 and how he approaches the game too is, I mean, it's special. He's not Luka. It doesn't make the, you know, thing. I feel like we have to caveat that. I hope we reach a point where we don't have to caveat that every time.
I don't think we ever will.
But Max is, you know, he's a fun player.
Yeah, he added value to that trade for sure. It wasn't this, he was a throw-in. Like even people were talking about, oh, they could have gotten Dalton Connect. Like, no, I'd rather have Max Christie for sure.
Yeah, I would have too.
Even before these games, I was saying that.
Heck, Max might be younger.
He might. He's going to turn 22 in like a couple days here. It is insane. He is younger.
I saw where
Confirmed by Joe Trahan of WFA. Yeah.
I saw where Dalton Connect was older than Mark Williams.
Yeah, he is.
And I was like, crap.
Yeah, but Christie had, with like a minute 30 left, he had a huge three. He had a great moment where him and Exum had some ball movement to get Gafford fouled, and then the Mavs made it a 10-point game again. Yeah. He got fouled a bunch of times late. Like and he had another drive right on Dylan Brooks with 4 minutes left. Like you just saw different aspects of his game that he's not just. We did this with Quentin Grimes at Media Day. Hit the bell. we talked to him on Media Day, and we were like, "What do you think about being a 3-and-D player?" And he took kind of offense to that. So I can do more than that. Well, Max Christie, same kind of thing. He can do more than just a 3-and-D.
I think just a much better Josh Green. Like what they tried to make Josh Green,
Quentin Grimes, Max Christie.
It's
We're just
like
leveling up each time.
The vision they had for Josh Green coming out of Arizona was, I think, could be really similar to what they're going to get Max Christie. And I mean, just how he's playing so far and his three-point shooting and everything. Yeah. Can we talk about Klay just for a second?
Oh, he had some new life.
Klay Thompson had a different energy to this game that I haven't seen in Klay in a long time. I mean, this dude was amped up. Did he drink a Monster? I know it was his birthday.
That's true.
But it was just like this dude was like on a different level in this game as far as energy-wise. And he hit some massive shots. He did the shimmy going down the court and just was getting fired up with the crowd and, you know, on defense and different stuff. It felt like he took it upon himself even more as a veteran of, man, like, I mean, the bench the whole time, the bench felt like they stood for the majority of the first half.
Yeah, they're about to get the Theo Pinson rule called on them.
But it was just like the players felt so like, man, we're in this together, and they fed off the crowd and the energy, and it was just a cool thing. And seeing Klay at that level too, energy-wise, was like really cool.
Absolutely, some great moments from Klay Thompson. He had 13 points. He only hit 1 3, which you're just not used to Klay scoring double digits and not hitting multiple threes. He had a drive on Amen Thompson straight to the rim, and a drive on Dylan Brooks straight to the rim, which you go, man, we just have not seen that kind of juice from Klay to go at two of the best defenders in the NBA like that. And I think you're right. I think he looked at this situation and he says, all right, Kyrie's going to have to step up as a scorer, so am I. I'm going to have to give you something as a scorer as well.
Bye, Joe.
And I think that's going to have to be something he brings every single night. He's just like they're going to start to run some more plays like they did for him tonight.
And it doesn't mean that they're excited that Luka is gone. I know some people are like, oh, but it's like you saw Naji tonight too. It's like he was excited for AD's debut post game. He's excited for the win. He's like, I'm doing my job, but he's also saying, man, we miss Luka too. Like we can miss Luka as friends and teammates, but also like be super pumped for AD and like where we're headed as a team too.
It's like when you're doing a group project in school and you think you finished the first page and then you flip it over and realize there's a back and you're like, everybody gets down and then you kind of try to rally the troops, right? You try to rally and be like, all right, let's go. We got to do this. And then everybody seems.
What a weird analogy for you to think of.
I was trying to think of a better one and I was like, what's more relatable? And I was like, all right, well, everybody in school.
Also, I just realized you got the cool mic. Why didn't you put a logo on this one?
Do you want it?
Can you put a sticker on this one?
You want the flag? I can get you a flag. If you do more post game shows with me here, like this.
Yeah, that's slightly bit.
But Klay Thompson, great game. They got a lot of contributions. How many bench points did they finish? 53 bench points compared to 14 from the Rockets. Like that's how the Mavs are gonna have to win is the bench points. You're gonna get Kyrie. You're gonna get AD. You're gonna get some stuff from Klay. You're gonna get some from PJ didn't play the second half, so that's maybe unfair to look at that, but. Gafford wasn't a factor as far as scoring in this one, and so you got a ton of contributions from the bench. Coming up, let's talk about the protest. What did we see? What did it mean? What does it mean for the Dallas Mavericks? Talk about that and more coming up. Today's episode of Locked On Mavs brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA to get $20 off your first purchase. $20 that you can get to go to a Dallas Mavericks game if you want to see the Anthony Davis era. If you're looking for tickets to your next big event, whether it's a concert, anything other than sports too, you can go look at it at Game Time. I love checking it out. They have the Fort Worth Stockyard show coming up. You can go get tickets for that. You can go see all kinds of other stuff too. You've got you got Stars games you can get tickets for. Kendrick Lamar and SZA you can get tickets for. You can go see that. There's all kinds of other things you can do with
Aubrey coming to town.
Game Time. The curated deals make it super simple to find great tickets at a great price. No more sifting through thousands of different options. They give it to you the best deals right up front. You can see them. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem that code LOCKEDONNBA for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. What time is it? Game Time!
I was ready for it. That's my moment. Dads do the ads.
Dads chime in at the end of the ads. Try to distract me during the ads. All right, Isaac. So a lot of people were worried about the protest. People were talking about it. What was it going to be like? I don't know that I've seen a protest of a sports team like this ever. Jason Kidd was asked after the game if he'd ever been part of some protest, and he said maybe in college he skipped some class. He skipped class a couple times, and then clarified, "Don't skip class," which was hilarious. It started slow. Right at noon, there wasn't a ton of people. I'd say a couple dozen. And then all of a sudden, by the peak, at least when I was out there, there's a couple hundred out there. The police had the barricade set up. So if you're protesting, you go inside the barricade and you're, all right, this is your area that you can kind of stay.
Protester? No.
Yeah,
yes,
right, yeah.
Yes.
And then everybody else, there's a lot of people. There's more people, I think, gathered around where I was.
Watch it. Yeah.
To watch it and to see what was going to happen. And you had trucks driving by. There was a huge truck with a sign that said, fire Nico, sell the team.
Yeah.
There's another one with
everybody and the brother post a picture of it.
Yeah, there was another one with a video board on the back of a truck that one of them was like a hashtag about Luka. The other one was a picture of Nico that said inside trader, like trader, but like also trade. So that was interesting.
The cardboard cutout.
There was a cardboard cutout with Nico with a clown nose, a life-size cardboard cutout of Nico that somebody brought.
He's a pretty tall guy.
It's like 6 foot or whatever. He played college basketball, and so. Fans got their feelings out, right? Totally fine to feel that way. There's a lot of listeners that listen to us that I walked up and took a picture of the group, and I heard Raccoon Squad, Locked On Luka. I heard people cheer that from inside that. So I mean, obviously, if you feel those feelings, and it felt like the fan base's heart got ripped out when you take the franchise guy that you've loved and you've defended and you've gone after, you cheered for, bought merch from, and all that kind of stuff for years. I mean, 6 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And so I get people feeling that way. I don't think it's going to change anything. I don't think that it did anything like that. But the feelings were heard because everybody was talking about it.
Yeah, it was weird. Even Jason Kidd admitted it was weird today coming into the game. And, just driving into the game, there's some billboards up downtown now from some different companies and stuff about missing Luka and, some of them directly, about how he should have had a statue and stuff. And so just like coming to the game, even like in-game stuff, we were talking in the press box, like, hey, the intro, they had to edit that, the Leon Bridges video, edit that, no Luka in that. It's just, it's just weird. Like a guy that
all the like banners and stuff outside the arena, they had to take all those down, the in-game merch and banners and stuff.
I didn't go into the hangar today, but I don't know if was this stuff half off? Was it?
I saw a guy in a Mavs Anthony Davis jersey, so they definitely made some changes.
Because typically when a guy gets traded or released something, immediately it's like 50% off, that jersey or something. But I mean, heck, the Luka stuff's like half the store, so like you just putting half the store on sale. I will say this though. I've seen a lot of people, do the whole like, man, Mavs are making it too big of a deal. They're pointing, the finger too much at the Mavs fans, that Mavs fans are so dangerous or all this stuff. It's never about that.
Talk about the threats to Nico.
And the threats to Nico are like legit real. Like those are some dangerous, real stuff that, he has hired, a full-time security team to guard his house. And like some of the stuff to family, to other stuff, like it's gotten pretty intense. It wasn't just something that people have made up. And do you want to be the franchise or the people that's like, nah, this isn't real, and then something does happen, and then you look stupid? Like, you got to play it cautious with this stuff. And I know from the outside sometimes it might feel like, oh, they're going too overboard. But, like, you got to take these threats and stuff, like, serious. So I don't know how many. I don't know that. But I know there was enough legitimate ones to have some of this stuff in place and extra security and stuff. So you got to be cautious and something like that.
The FBI was here. Like they were legit threats. Like there were people planted. There's all kinds of measures taken today that I think that fans should know. That like
my wife was like legitimately like, hey, do you have to go today? Like I'm like, no, I'm fine.
A lot of people were worried. I wasn't worried about the protests out front, but it does only, like you said, you got to, if there is a threat, which talking to people, there was some credible threats to Nico and other people in the franchise. If that's going to happen, then like you got to take some measures, and so I get that, and those things are different. And it only takes one crazy person to do something ridiculous and stupid for it to now become, oh, Mavs fans did this, and all of a sudden,
guys, Nico still made the decision. We can all be pissed at Nico. Like, I
get it.
And I heard multiple things tonight. I got from somebody that I trust was like, hey, Nico is gonna be here, but he's gonna be in a suite or his office or something. And then I got another person who said he's not even gonna be here today. So I don't know that.
Yeah,
I just heard multiple. He wasn't gonna be in a seat. We know that. So I don't know. I don't even know if he was here or not. But you got to be cautious with that. Yes, the protests happen out front, and I mean there's a lot of feelings around it. There's going to be a lot of feelings. But if something was also telling was once good basketball started happening, this inside of the arena, thousands of people,
20,000. I mean,
were going insane. I think it's I'm not gonna. But it just goes to show you this, like, hey, you can be excited about this team and AD and all the stuff in good basketball and still be heartbroken and pissed that they traded a generational star. I think it's a small example, too, of sometimes online is not representative of the whole
Twitter's
fan base.
Not always real life. Usually never.
Because, there was a lot of crazy fans in here today excited for their Mavs and wearing Mavs gear, too. So it was a weird day. It was a fun. You got the whole AD experience, too, of the peak of AD going down with an injury, or a locker room visit, and all of that. So we'll see where it goes from here. There might be new, AD reporting out by the time we finish with this. But it was fun. Yeah, first quarter and first half was special, and you saw the potential of like what they're going for defensively. They got to work on some things offensively.
Yeah.
And figure some of that stuff out. But defensively and stuff, you saw it.
They're also playing one of the best defenses in the NBA in the Rockets. So, I mean, it's a heck of a team to try and test your new look crew after. And if that's what it looks like in game 1, like it's going to take some time for them to work on some chemistry. Kyrie and AD, the last time they played together was Team USA. Were they both on that team?
At one point.
Yeah,
he said
a long time ago, like 2018 maybe?
He did reference 2018 that they talked about playing together. That was when he was in Boston and some of those rumors were happening. He didn't reference the rumors, but that was when some of the rumors were happening about AD going to Boston and stuff like that. And now they get their wish. We saw that 2-man game where he threw the oop to AD.
Yeah, that was the pop from the crowd. That was maybe the loudest one.
Yeah, and Kyrie was close with Luka. Is close with Luka. He's talked about how much he misses Luka, but also this is like he has to try to move on too as a professional, and it's now he gets to play with Anthony Davis too. And
it was a quote he said the other day. It's like I'm paraphrasing him, but he said, I don't have many years left in my basketball career. I've got to focus on now. I've got to focus on winning, and I want to win another championship, and I got to focus on now. Also, Naji Marshall was asked about Luka, and he said we're going to miss Lulu, and I thought that was really funny.
Anyway, it was fun. That was a fun what?
Oh, I thought you were going to do one more thing.
I don't know. I'm trying to think of anything else. Nothing else post game that stood out.
The Mavs hit 18 blocks, new franchise record.
Yeah, it's crazy. First game with AD set a franchise record in blocks.
We don't even have Lively, who was on the bench looking.
Had his walking boot on. Caleb Martin on the bench too.
PJ going out. PJ with the right ankle sprain. That one's tough.
Yeah, he was
we'll
plus.
Have to wait to see what happens with that. But.
Plus 17, 16 minutes. PJ means so much to this team. We got to see what PJ looks more like at the 3, Klay at the 2, and all that stuff. That'll be fun to watch. But they just got to get healthy, man. Get to the All-Star break. And
it's going to be the new thing for them, just forever. For the Mavs, got to stay healthy.
It's not like they've been healthy this season.
That's what I mean. It's like we've been doing this. Now we're going to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Guys, thanks for hanging out with us on Locked On Mavs. Check the QR code, different ways to follow the show, the link in the description. Check the Locked On Mavs text line. You can text us and get text alerts on any kind of Mavs. So the injury stuff, we're going to continue. I'll send you everything on injuries right to your phone, 214-643-8637. Guys, thanks so much for listening to Locked On Mavs.
Peace out.
Boom. You drink your water again?